You know those huge headlines you see about global summits or a crisis in the energy markets? It's easy to feel like they're happening in a whole other universe. But what if they're not? What if those massive global tremors are sending ripples right into our own backyards? Today, we're going to connect the dots, from the highest levels of global power right down to the streets of a local community.
I mean, think about it for a second. What on earth could possibly connect a high-stakes diplomatic summit in Paris with a community cleanup drive in Jaipur, India? On the surface, they seem worlds apart. But trust me, the link between them is very, very real, and it tells an incredible story about how the world economy shapes our everyday lives. So, to really understand that connection, we have to zoom out and look at the big picture. Right now, the entire global economy is getting hit by two major shocks at the exact same time. It's creating something of a perfect storm of uncertainty. Okay, first up, the energy shock. The price of oil has shot past that critical $100 a barrel mark. And that's not just a number on a Wall Street trader's screen. No, that's a shockwave that affects literally everything, from the price you pay at the gas pump to the cost of groceries on the shelf. So, why the huge spike? Well, a big piece of the puzzle is geopolitics. Tensions and conflicts are flaring up around these incredibly important shipping lanes, especially the Strait of Hormuz. We're talking about one of the most critical choke points for the world's oil supply, and any instability there makes the markets extremely nervous. The second major shock is coming from the incredibly tense relationship between the United States and China. And here's the paradox, right? These two economic superpowers are deeply, deeply intertwined. Their supply chains, their finances, they're totally linked. But at the same time, they're locked in this fierce strategic competition, and that constant push and pull creates a ton of instability for the rest of us.
And listen, this isn't something that just popped up overnight. This tension has been building for years, right? From the start of the tariff disputes, which really threw supply chains into chaos, to a temporary truce that was hammered out in South Korea. And all that history is leading to this exact moment. High-stakes talks kicking off again in Paris, which could, maybe, set the stage for a massive summit between Presidents Trump and Xi.
Okay, so you've got these two massive crises brewing, an energy shock and a trade standoff. So how are the world's powers trying to deal with it? Well, they're essentially fighting a war on two fronts, and they're using two totally different strategies to try and bring back some stability.
And here's a look at that two-pronged response. On one side, in Paris, it's all about delicate, face-to-face diplomacy to cool down the trade friction. On the other side, you have this massive, coordinated economic move to tackle the oil crisis head-on. Two very different problems that demand two very different but equally crucial solutions.
And when we talk about that energy intervention, the scale is just staggering. The International Energy Agency, the IEA, has organized a release of 400 million barrels of oil from strategic reserves. To give you some perspective, this is the single largest coordinated release in history. It's a huge, bold move designed to pour some cold water on panicked markets.
And they are not wasting a single second. The IEA's message is all about urgency. The oil will start flowing immediately, with a major focus on getting it to Asia. This is a massive effort to inject stability back into the system and to do it as fast as humanly possible.
Meanwhile, all the way over in Paris, the negotiators are navigating an absolute minefield. I mean, look at this list. Yeah, we're talking about tariffs, but it's so much deeper than that. It's about access to cutting-edge U.S. tech. It's about China's control over rare earth minerals that we need for our electronics. It's about huge agricultural deals. Every single one of these issues is a potential bombshell for the global economy. The stakes just could not be higher.
Okay, so we've been looking at this from 30,000 feet. We've seen the global power plays. But how does all of this drama actually feel on the ground? Let's pivot our focus now and zoom in on India, a country that's caught right in the cross-currents of these global shifts.
Honestly, this chart says it all. India imports about 85% of the crude oil it needs. 85%! That makes the country incredibly vulnerable to the exact kind of price shocks we're seeing right now. When global oil prices jump, the Indian economy feels that pain almost instantly.
And that vulnerability, it's not just some abstract economic concept. No, it translates into real everyday pain. We're talking higher fuel prices for everybody, immense pressure on the national budget, and a really tough, volatile environment for businesses that are trying to navigate their trade relationships with both the US and China.
So what do you do when these giant global storms are raging around you, and you can't really control them? Well, for some, the answer isn't to look outward, but to turn inward. And this is fascinating. We're now zooming in even further to the Indian state of Rajasthan. Their strategy is to stop just reacting to global shocks, and instead to proactively build a stronger foundation from the ground up.
This quote from Rajasthan's chief minister, it just says so much. While global leaders are in Paris arguing about trade, the focus here shifts to something way more fundamental, a collective social duty. It's such a powerful idea, right? When the world feels chaotic, maybe the most impactful thing you can do is to strengthen your own community.
And this is not just some government slogan. That number, 2.5 crore, that's 25 million people. 25 million citizens getting involved in these programs. This is the genuine grassroots movement, a massive public buy-in to this idea of building resilience from your own neighborhood outward.
And check out how comprehensive this is. It's a truly holistic campaign. Yeah, it starts with sanitation drives, but it goes so much deeper. They're giving protective gear to the sanitation workers, running awareness campaigns to get everyone on board, and even supporting the local economy by helping street vendors. It's about improving the entire ecosystem of daily life.
And here's the really smart part, the bigger picture. While they're cleaning up public spaces for today, the state is also building for tomorrow. At the same time, they're recruiting a whole new wave of engineers. They're investing in the human capital they'll need for the future. It's a brilliant two-pronged investment in both social and technical infrastructure.
So, that brings us full circle. We started with these huge global tremors, decisions in Paris, oil markets in turmoil, and we saw how they shake the entire planet. The instinct is always to look for some big, global solution. But what if the most powerful answer isn't out there at all? In a world that feels more and more volatile, maybe the most effective, most radical act of defense is just building a stronger community right where you live. What do you think?